And welcome to the Aaron Katzman Show. I'm your host, Aaron Katzman, where we speak about your life, your money, and your investments. And as always, we're coming to you from the spiritual and soon-to-be financial capital of the world, Jerusalem, Israel. If you like this content, please, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button below, like the podcast, and if you've not yet done so, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and to the podcast as well. We are continuing on. We took a brief hiatus from entrepreneurship when we got back to financial issues, but we're back on the wagon, back on the horse, as they say. And it's my pleasure today to introduce to you Shev Simon, who is a brand consultant for healers, coaches, and therapists. She's an expert at helping you use the power of your brand to grow a business you love. She provides a blend of branding savvy and emotional wellness for business owners because you are the most valuable asset in your business. Shev Simon, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. It's really a pleasure.
You are very welcome. So, what is a brand consultant for healers, coaches, and therapists?
Oh, great question. So, the word brand, the word means different things depending where you look for the answer. And often we associate brands with like food and shoes, but actually everybody has a brand. And the brand, that the way I understand it, the way I express it is, it's the personality of your business. So if you were to go into a cafe and you're standing online and you just happen to notice someone who's standing a few feet behind you, but they catch your attention because of how they're standing or their body language or their facial expression, something grabs your attention and it's got this like three-dimensional energy, and then your eye moves on, but something grabs you. That is your brand. That what grabs the people you want to work with, that's your brand. So I find it incredibly powerful. You know, if you have two people saying, I offer acupuncture, saying it with your energy, saying it with the energy that you want to attract people towards you with, transforms how you can build your business. So when I say brand consulting, I mean somebody comes in who is unclear about the exact group that they want to serve or the exact power that they want to exert in the world. And we clear that. We get them to a mission statement so that they really can refine their language for exactly the people they want to work with.
And let's take a step back. How did you get into this?
Oh, so I come at it from a life coaching place. I have always been a space holder. I used to be a doula, and then I became a lay chaplain, working with people who were sick in their homes.
Oh, wow.
And I then shifted into life coaching. And that first year I worked with somebody who needed help decluttering, somebody who needed help with time management, somebody who had needed help organizing stuff. And there was many different, a career path question, many different aspects. But I joined this group of amazing business owners, and I noticed that they were struggling to talk about what they did. So I started 5 years ago just talking to them about expressing what you do clearly. And the three pieces of that I just came up, like I was drawn towards, is who you are, who your clients are, and what you do to help them. Very straightforward. And I've been doing that for 5 years. And the more I know, the more I do, the more I know, the more I understand the power of branding, the more my language has become more refined, and the more I can guide people on really creating a brand that packs a punch.
So it's sort of helping people with, I'm going to cheapen it, right? But it's helping people sort of succinctly give their elevator pitch. Is that sort of to really be able to no, I'm saying, but you know what I mean, right?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
What they're doing.
You're not wrong, because being able to know what you do and say it succinctly is power. So yeah, an elevator pitch, but an elevator pitch that is like the foundation of the foundation, and now you can build everything around that. So if you're a tour guide in Israel, right, you're really well respected. That's a serious qualification. You tell me you're a tour guide, right? I don't know who to refer to you. Do I send you the people who are having, days out with their high-tech firm from Tel Aviv? Do I send you the people coming in from Chicago to make a bar mitzvah? Do I send you, the Greeks coming in to do church tours? Like, I don't know who to send you, so I send you nobody. If you tell me that you're a tour guide who only works taking people with wheelchairs off the beaten track, I know who to send to you. Everybody knows who to send to you. And that elevator pitch becomes how you talk to your people, because you've got this one thing to this one group of people that is so crystal clear that you can welcome them in.
What's the process? Let's say I'm a tour guide, or I'm a financial advisor, or I have a falafel stand, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that, basically any service business where you have to try and differentiate yourself from somebody else, right? So I'm having problems doing that, let's just say, right? I'm a tour guide and I don't I am just a tour guide. So I come to you. What is the process that sort of you use to get it out of me, right? To pull out of me what it is that makes me special?
So we always start with you. We start with you, your values, your beliefs, your strengths. And out of that comes a remarkable level of magic, where you are able to express the values that you care about most in your business. Nobody ever asked you this before. Generally speaking, no one's done this kind of work before. You walk around saying, who do I want to serve? What do I feel drawn to? But what are the values you specifically have that you want to bring to your business? That changes how you look at your business. So that's step one. Then we talk about your clients. Who are your dream clients? The clients who you like, because when you got your best clients, you do your best work. And then they get their best results. And then it's just this positive cycle of people recommending you because they're getting such great results. So who do you want to welcome in? So that's the next section we do. We talk about the energy of the people who are coming in that you most want to serve. How do you define that? And then we talk about the journey your clients are taking. We don't hold their hand for life. You bring them in, you help them go from A to B, whatever your A and B are, and then you let them go on with their life. So what is that journey? And then how do you get them there? So in this process, it's a 4-week process that I offer. But even if you do it alone, or with a business partner, those are the elements that are really, really important. Your values, your clients, your favorite clients who help you do your best work, the journey you're helping them take, and what you do to take it.
It's interesting. I was just going to ask you how long a process it is. So you mentioned 4 weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks, and that's what, 1 or 2 times a week, or once a week, or how many times?
For 4 weeks. It's a 90-minute session for 4 weeks. And the last session, generally, we're able to wrap up in 3 sessions. And the 4th session is purely a planning your next action steps. Like once you know, like it's gorgeous to know where you stand. This clarity feels like a relief and it feels exciting. But then what? So there's always a session at the end, which is, okay, here's what you're going to do next. And the process has a framework that everybody uses. It's called Branchine. It's my process that I created, and it's and everybody follows it, although it looks different, of course, because each person comes in different. But the last session, that planning session, that is completely different. I've got people coming in. This is the first time they've ever opened a business. I've got people coming in who've been running a business for 5 years and are really scaling. They all need different things.
So for those of you who are looking for this help, right, to sort of learn how to express yourself and take your company, your business to the next level, and are looking into this, right? I thought before we spoke that this is going to be like one of these long processes, but you're telling me that it's 4 90-minute. You're done in 6 hours, right? It's 6 hours basically, and you're in and out. So that's really cool. That's really cool. It's not like you're not building a dependency-based business where you're in and out. That's fantastic. That's great. What do you work with anybody? Are there specific sectors that you work with, or certain types of people you work with?
Well, as you said, right, I work with coaches, therapists, and healers. So that's like really broad. And in addition to that, I often find myself working with people who don't really traditionally call themselves that, but they work in a coachy way. So I might work with photographers, right? Photographers who are like really building relationship. They're not artist photographers. they're more portrait photographers.
Okay.
They have that coachy feel about it, and they care about the emotional element of their business. You know,
So you have this.
I come at this from the mental health point of view, right? From life coaching, and I've moved more towards the mental health world, and I'm really all about identity. So I'm working with people for whom their identity is an important element of their business's identity.
So let's now transition into sort of the entrepreneurship angle, because you actually have, it just occurred to me, a rather fascinating angle to this, is that you yourself have your own business and you're consulting for other people who have their own businesses. So you get to see it from two different directions. When you grew up, did you always have like the bug that you wanted to have, you know, your own business? Were you always sort of doing things in an entrepreneurial way?
No. The opposite, nothing.
Oh, interesting.
My whole family is educators, and in medicine and in educate. Those are the only fields I worked in. I had a job for a couple of years that was not in that. Otherwise, I've always been in those fields, my whole family. And business was like, we always thought it was funny, like it was the last thing we were interested in. And it happened. And I can't exactly nail the day that I got ambitious. Like, I really became a life coach, and I opened a business in order that I would be able to life coach. But I never knew that I had within me this, like, okay, let's grow this. Let's do this. This is so cool. And just ambition for the joy of the not the joy of the success, the joy of growing something really cool. And I get that a lot in my clients. They are opening a business to enable them to heal. And then they get bitten by the bug. Like, it's very exciting to see how you can reach more people more effectively when you're using the right language, when you're using the right words. No, I'm late to the game. I'm late to the business game.
And so was it just like an epiphany and you just took the jump, or was it sort of a slow process and then you said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it?
I'm thinking. It was a process. It started with, I think, did it start with? I can't name when it started. Actually, I cannot name, but it was probably when I switched from life coaching to coaching businesses, which was 5 years ago, to only working with business owners. It suddenly became a business does not grow itself. And this idea that I could just coach people and just rely on word of mouth. There are fields where that works, by the way, when there's people referring to each other are beautiful. But most people I know, most business owners I know, they need to have a presence. They need to let people know what they do in order that people can find them. And that became just really cool. The whole mechanism is just really cool. So that's been growing, and I've been, always studying, always investing in learning more, whether it's, paying someone to teach me or just the vast number of books that I'm reading and learning from. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. It did not come overnight.
And when you were thinking about it, did you sort of keep it to yourself and investigate, or did you talk to people and say, I'm thinking of opening my own, expanding my business, opening a business? What do you think? Like, did you solicit advice from people? And if so, were they all positive, or were there negatives, or did you just do it all on your own?
I am part of an online Facebook group for women business owners in Israel.
Okay.
And tremendous support there, and also reality, right? No one is going to sugarcoat anything. There is nothing sugarcoating about having a venture like this. So I got a lot of support there. I am a self-starter. I do like learning things by myself, and I did do a lot by myself, but I could not have done it without knowing that there was this support group where I could, and it's not just for support, but I could just get like, okay, what's the best book on this? Who's the consultant for that?
Right.
What direction do I want to be going in now? And that we're always bouncing ideas off each other. And I have accountability partners. We just celebrated 5 years of meeting together, and they are extraordinary. And it's
What's
not
that mean? Explain, what is an accountability partner?
Okay, an accountability partner is a someone who's doing the same thing as you, right? It doesn't have to be in business. Someone who's doing the same thing as you and doing it together and holding each other accountable. Now, in the business world, that often means not just, hi, did you get the thing done, but how's it going? What's working? What failed? What do you need help with? How can I reflect back to you? How can I, right? So accountability partners, generally they're colleagues, they're friends, they meet over coffee, and they don't talk about personal stuff. They listen to each other, they coach each other, they hold each other to growing their business. That is how I see an accountability partner. And 5 years ago, I went out for coffee with these two coaches in my city who I'm friendly with, and they have become much, much more now. We've been meeting every month for 5 years.
Wow.
And sometimes they were able to point me in the direction of an answer, or they were able to support me through a crisis, or they were able to celebrate with me. You know, it's all needed, and problem solve and brainstorm and everything. Sometimes not, but just meeting them every month meant that my business kept moving forward, and that growth would not have been possible without them.
So you touched on something which is really important, which nobody's really brought up, but I think it's really good for all you out there who are thinking about starting your own business. There are a lot of resources available. You don't just have to do it yourself or just speak to a friend or two, right? You mentioned a Facebook group for women entrepreneurs. I'm sure there's one for all entrepreneurs and for male entrepreneurs, right? I'm sure you just have to, you can spend 30 seconds and find this kind of stuff. And that's really, really important, because sometimes people just get lost, right? You don't know even the process, right? The regulatory, the bureaucratic process you can get lost in, and you might miss something, and that can screw everything up. So you mentioned when you were talking about your accountability partners, what's going right and what's not going right. So, and that there has to be sort of like a reality check. You mentioned from the Facebook group, right? That they don't sugarcoat anything. Owning your own business for other people can be, wow, they own their business. But, you yourself know that there's a lot of travails which go along with owning your business.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell me something like sort of the challenges that sort of you've faced or that you've conquered, in this journey that you're on?
Sure. I'm going to talk some for myself and some on what I've seen in my clients. We don't all have the same issues. Sometimes you can have, right, I'm talking really about service providers, the people I'm working with, and myself especially. I'm working one-to-one with people. And on January 1st, I don't know how many of my spots are going to be filled, unless the whole month is already filled out, and I'm talking about February 1st. But I don't know how many spots are going to be filled. I don't know what my income is this month. Every month, I start the month with, okay, what am I making this month and how am I going to get there? And I can have a bad month. I can have such a quiet month that it's stunning, and I forget that I'm able to do it. It can like change the energy remarkably. And so one of the issues, a related issue that I see in my clients and in the business itself, is a lot of people, if you're a solopreneur, if you work by yourself, it's lonely, it's isolating, and you're troubleshooting by yourself, and you are trying to solve problems by yourself, and it's on a difficult month or a difficult challenge, or you're hit by a tax bill that you didn't see coming, or you everything is awesome and you're filled with self-doubt anyway. That happens. People who are leveling up to a level of income they never even dreamed of, and they're doubting that they deserve it. There's so much of it is mindset. So those kind of there's a lot of challenges along the way. And I really want to emphasize your mental wellness is so important. You are the greatest asset in your business. You really want to protect your well-being above everything else. So one way to do that is to connect with other people and find a community or find colleagues who you can hang out with and lean on.
That's great. And would you say there's nothing like it? Like, you're happy with all the challenges? You're happy that you did this as opposed to punching a clock and working for somebody 9 to 5? You feel you made a great decision?
First of all, it is the greatest. It is the greatest. And I do not like just 100%. joy. I get to do what I want to do. I was asked in an interview recently, like, how come you have clients that you like? Like, how come you like everybody that you work with? This was another entrepreneur asking me this. I was like, well, I put it on the packet. I say who I want to work with, and that's who I welcome in. Like, I'm just ask for what you want, and those are who you work with. So I love to get to do the work I love to do. I love to work with the people that I get to work with. They are astonishing, wonderful people. And also there's a freedom in, frankly, in earning that isn't available in most corporate jobs. There is a way of moving yourself up in a way you can't. There are ceilings inside companies. So this allows me not only freedom, but also freedom to dream. You know, like, I don't even know what's possible. Let's go see. That's exciting. Also, the flexibility. I originally started my own business because I wanted flexibility to be able to handle stuff that was going on in my personal life in a flexible way that I could not manage if I was working 8 to 4, 8 to 5. And now I'm kind of like, I kind of like it. I kind of like the flexibility. It's like, I can put in all the I mean, I work really, I don't got to do it between 1 and 4 in the afternoon. If somebody wants me to, you know, go out for coffee, great, let me go out for coffee with a friend, not a colleague, just for me, and then pick it up again at night. I'll get it done.
That's great. Shev Simon, this was really good. I really appreciated this, and it was really interesting.
Yeah, well, you're so welcome. It was a pleasure for me.
How can people get a hold of you?
Well, the best place to get hold of me is shevsimon.com, my website. I really love people to read what I'm about before they schedule a chat with me, so they know what they're getting into. And you can schedule a chat right there on the website, shevsimon.com.
Great.
And if you want to read more about my mindset and the things I talk about, Facebook.
You've been tuning in to the Erin Katzman Show. We speak about your life, your money, and your investments. Once again, be sure to hit the like button below and like the podcast. If you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and at the podcast as well. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you soon.